Welcome back to another Rockford CCG attack package series video. If you've been following along, we've done two videos, one with a seal attack package where you blank opponents' foundations to gain advantage, and then a slam build, slam attack package using like transform and other abilities just to net card draw and to overwhelm your opponent. So this week we are going to look at the stun attack package. We're going to be looking at the fire symbol primarily because fire is considered the stun symbol, I guess. It does have a lot of stun 2 effects. There are a couple stun 3. It does have characters that pair very well with the stun package. So we're going to get right into it with the attacks. So we're going to look at Ken's Inazuma Kakato Wari, or IKW as I like to call it. It's the stun 2, 3 high for 4, 4 dip with a +2 low. Couple good things about this card. First, it has stun 2, so if you're going to go heavy on a stun package, you're going to want to have as much stun 2 or more as possible. Also, you can remove the top 2 cards of your deck so they cannot play actions cards during this attack. Obviously, they can play revoke to stop it because you do the cost and then you can respond to cost. Yeah, it prevents prepared fight being played. Your opponent cannot do this, so they can't play like Punch and Judy to slow your stuff down, or block to get, say, play Judy to get punched to get a high block. Also, it has some nice card discard, so if you have some extra momentum, you can pitch that, you check out their hand, and then you discard the card. So next, we're going to go on to Armed Vengeance, another stun 2 attack. It's from the Jet package. You got combo stun, it gets an extra speed and damage, and also if it's completely blocked, it clears itself into your card pool face down, so it becomes a foundation. So this is probably like a good bridge attack. Say you go in with the Zuma IKW, and then you go, oh, I'm going to play some Armed Vengeance. So you're looking at stun 4 across 2. If you're Jet, you're looking at stun 8, because he gives +2. So that's pretty nice. And then it can clear itself if your opponent can block it. Black Dog's Aim's a really good opener. Has stun 1, and then you can flip one of those committed foundations. So after you stun a bunch, or if you just stun 1 to open, you can flip whatever your opponent has stunned, which gives you a little bit of foundation control, because fire has some, but not a whole lot. Most of the time, they just stun you out. Black Dog Fangs, a really, really, really good card. Has stun 1, breaker 1. Also, it just better used as a block sometimes. But what you can do is you can play this, stun your opponent, play the next attack like an Armed Vengeance, and then after the Armed Vengeance resolves, you can pick the Black Dog's Fangs back up and then play it again. So this may not have a giant number of stun, it's just you're able to play it over and over again to stun your opponent down. And now into the two big bads of the stun package. First is Missile Launcher. This card is the bane of everyone's existence currently. This and the next card, which is Coffee Samba. You get stun 2 on this. It nets you speed or damage with the discard on top 4E. And if your opponent's stupid enough to go into Deadlock, it becomes stun 5, EX5, powerful 7. So they're probably dying if this is played against them. This is still the best turn 2 card in the game as an attack. I would say Coffee Samba's up there too. This is basically unblockable on turn 2 because you're going to stun your opponent 2, and then you're going to discard for 4 speed, so it's a 7 low for 6. If your character is able to pump speed, you're probably going X speed for 10 damage, which is insane on turn 2. But that is the power of the Bebop, I guess. So next, finally, we're going to get a hold of Coffee Samba. It is not a stun attack per se, but through its 2 enhances, E, you draw 2 cards, your opponent draws 2 cards, and then E, this attack gets multiple X stun X. X equals the number of cards in your opponent's hand. You can go upwards of stun 6 on turn 2, which is or 4 to 6 usually on turn 2, which is just insane. Your opponent's not going to be able to do anything. Unfortunately, this card used to not be as wanted when it first came out, because you got sad when you opened a Coffee Samba, but then after Keenan Meadows shoutouts, and Mark Wisniewski won some PTCs with Mad Pro on Fire or Evil. Just being able to stun out your opponent, draw cards, just keep going and pummeling your opponent. So we got 3 actions. These kind of just supplement the whole stun package. You got first Ancestral Quiver. While it's in your card pool, your checks get +1. Plus, it has a couple neat tech options. F, your opponent discards their entire momentum. F, until the end of this turn, your opponent must lose 1 vitality as an additional cost to play cards. And F, discard 1 momentum, your attacks gain stun 2 for the rest of the turn. So your stun 2s become 2 instances of stun 2. So basically stun 4. Jet cannot pump the second stun rating because it's not printed. So, but you can just overwhelm your opponent with stun. To supplement stunning out your opponent, basically they can't block anything if it's too fast. Punch and Judy, big shot Punch and Judy, first Judy. You're able to just get 3 speed on your attacks and then get a big shot, tutor out a big shot punch for extra damage. And then you just repeat the cycle until you blow through all of them and you have a giant ass kill shot that your opponent can't do anything about. This has led to some very, very salty endings and some very, very neat blocking mechanics, because these also are used defensively as well. They also give -3 speed or -3 damage. And you can just, so basically they have a secret text that says, you use Judy, you get a high block. You use Punch, you get a low block. So that's basically the gist of that. Usually it's missile launcher or coffee samba, then big shot, big shot, big shot, then you're dead. We got 2 foundations that will really supplement the stun package. So basically I looked at anything that said stun, like damage-wise or able to help you live longer. I came up with 2. Got Shaolin Fighter out of the Kung Jin support. E commit, your combo or ranged attack gets +3 or stun 2. Desperation E, discard a momentum. This attack gets -4 damage, playable while committed. So if you commit it on your turn, it's still usable if you're in desperation. So you're able to get a -4 damage. It also can pump 3 damage or give this attack, your combo or ranged attack, stun 2. And this attack package, we don't really have any range. We do have a combo, so don't know how. I guess it could supplement if you're using like a couple of Kung Jin's attacks that don't have stun on them, but that gives it another instance of stun, so you can kind of supplement these non-stun attacks and make them stun attacks. Next, we have United States Champion. Your E commit, your stun attack gets +2 damage. Deadlock E, destroy, draw 2 cards. It's just in there for extra damage or deadlock card draw. So your opponent usually does not want to go to deadlock, so you're going to be able to draw cards and blow them out with Missile Launcher. So we got 7 characters that kind of fit the whole stun package or supplements into the stun package. First is Goro from the Mortal Kombat. Reason why he's in here is because after your first turn, you're able to tutor out any Missile Launcher, any Coffee Samba, any Stun 2, Stun X card you want. It also gives you 4 damage to all your attacks, and he fills your discard pile for those Punch and Judies, and to be able to get extra attacks later on. Next is Kung Jin. He is able to draw 2 extra cards or give you 2 momentum for like maybe a Missile Launcher EX or a Coffee Samba multiple, and he also gives ridiculous speed. So as long as you build your deck properly, you're able to get upwards of 1 to 0 speed. Maybe 0 speed if you have a couple zero blocks, but actually it doesn't really matter. Yeah, because you want to be able to get as much speed as possible, so you're going to build your deck with low block modifiers, so it becomes X4 minus the lowest block modifier. So you're looking for upwards of 2, 3, and 4 speed. Then we have Public Enemy number 1 with Stun decks. We have Jet. He's able to remove 2 attack cards from his discard pile to bump all non-multiple key ratings, printed key ratings on it, +2 or -2. So your stun 2s become stun 4s, your stun 3s become stun 5s, so on and so forth. He also pumps EX and Powerfuls if you have anything on there too as well. He is able to discard top 2 cards of his deck. He gets 2 damage, so he also works with a big shot Punch and Judy. Now we got the probably the most famous stun package player character, Mad Pro. He's able to discard top 4 cards of his deck to gain speed. So as on top of also stunning your opponent out, he's going to be able to push speed to really push those and make those attacks hit, make it really hard for you to block. So and then he's also has a damage debuff, so he can also mill 4 on your opponent's turn, and then you can give your opponent's attack speed if you're not able to block, and then you just give it -2 damage, and that actually can extend your life over a long period of turns, or just if you're trying to survive, though, like a reversal or anything like that. Plus, it fills your discard pile for Punch and Judy. Huitzel, he needs a delivery method because he doesn't give speed, but he does makes your attacks pretty much throws. If it's completely blocked, if your attack is completely blocked, it still does have damage. So what you can do is you could drop a missile launcher, stun them. If it's completely blocked, lift it, stun them again, and just keep going. Same thing with Coffee Samba, if you can do that too. Also, if your attacks hit, you're able to make your opponent discard a card. So it also helps you be able to push through damage if they can't keep cards in their hand. Then we have Dalsim. He just gives a +2/+2 to any of your stun attack or any attack once per turn. So you can do a missile launcher, stun 2, give it +2/+2, and then give it 4 more speed or 4 more damage. You can play around. Plus, he has a damage debuff and speed debuff as a -2/-2. Also, if you can work in some ranged attacks into your attack package, you're able to also hit them for 2 more damage. And then we have Ken from the Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers. He's going to be able to take advantage and just put tons of crazy stats on your attacks. So if you're able to stun your opponent down, you're going to be able to just put +1/+3 for every attack you remove. As long as your attacks are printed 4 or higher, and then you can just keep pumping damage and then just keep pushing attacks through. And then also you can remove the top 2 cards of your deck. If the attack shares a name with the card and you remove from game pile, you get to draw 2 cards. So as long as you're pushing and pushing and pushing and putting pressure on your opponent, you should be able to kill them quickly by stunning them out, getting huge damage, and drawing all these cards. So I have a few cards that kind of fit into that stun attack package, but they may be more situational. First is ISSP Grapple. It's a stun 1 attack, but really it's a jet attack because it becomes a throw. So it reads Jet E. If this attack is completely blocked, it still does half damage rounded up. So you're looking at Jet to really take advantage of this card. So it's why I put it in the side of cards that could fit this attack package. Next is Combustion Orb. It's a range, so it kind of fits the Shaolin Fighter mold. It gets stun 3. It's a 2 mid for 8, and it is a 2 check, but it has a really neat R card pool. Commit your character. After your opponent plays a responsibility, cancel its effects. So if you're not too worried, like if you're like I don't know, maybe you used your once per turns with Dalsim, or you're just trying to just soften your opponent up. I don't know why you would do it if you're Huitzel, but because if they block it, you get to return back to their hand and stun 3 of them again. But yeah, it's a neat card. So like if they play like an out of your league or whatever, and you really want to protect your stun, you can commit your character. And then Crash Slam. E-commit 1 foundation. This can only be blocked by mid blocks. It is a low attack, so it's always going to do damage. So unless they do like Prepare to Fight or whatever. So that's just a neat way to get some momentum, I guess. So, and then also we have Alluriophobia, or it's appropriately named as Cats. Basically, this is dropped at the end of the string after you're completely committed out, and you commit out your opponent. They really have no resources. They can't do anything. You just pump the hell out of this attack, speed and damage. You double it, and you usually just kill them in 1 blow with that. This is usually what the Punch of Judy's for. If you stun them out and they have nothing, they can't do anything, you just go Cats, Punch of Judy, Punch of Judy, Punch of Judy, and then you remove something, then they die. So I hope this helped some people who want to look at a stun package, or I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Let me know in the comments below. I want to say thanks again to our sponsors, Jasco Games, and all of our Patreon sponsors. We really appreciate the help. If you want to get content early, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. And we'll see you next time on the next Attack Package video. Have a good night.